Grinders and grindettes, greetings and salutations. Listen, I go by the name of the Black Abstract. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And to returning subscribers like Keisha Good, salute. All right, now listen, we got to get into this episode, man. This shit was fire. But first, I got to give a shout out to my sponsors because they pay the bills. Future Trillionaire Clothing. Go to iamtrill.com. You can get you some merch. If you enter the promo code ABSTRACT when you check out, you get a little something off your order. I believe they got 50% deals going on. Make sure you go over there and get some. Now let's get into it. BMF Season 2, Episode 5, entitled Secrets and Lies. So, this was a good-ass episode, man. Listen, every week I say this. I know y'all tired of me saying this shit, like, every week, and this is what I this is what I say every week too. This is what separates this from Snowfall, Power. I don't think it's quite on the level of Snowfall yet, but just it's definitely exceeding Power. But this is what kind of separates shows like that with shows like this, because it's just, even though it's like the recurring theme, the drug shit, it's just new at the same time because it's just new characters, new setting. And you're getting to see kind of a firsthand look at stuff that actually happened. You know, I know it's fabricated and whatnot, but great ass episode. This was a good episode. We see that Terry, his mom, his pops, and the lawyer who Snoop's character recommended are sitting in like I guess a preliminary hearing. About his eye, you know, it's a malpractice lawsuit about how the doctor was negligent and it caused him to kind of lose vision in his eye, because you remember when they said, yo, we got to operate, and I guess they had messed up on something. So they're showing pictures of Terry and Meech doing, like, just take a picture of them saying how they got nice outfits and $30,000 cars, which is crazy to think that a BMW or a Benz was $30,000 back then. Holy that's crazy. If that was the case now, I'll have 3 of them. But they're trying to use that to say that the reason that Terry's actions have gotten worse or how they are is because he's in a drug game. And I'm like, yo, how is they even allowed to talk about this right now? Because it has nothing to do with what's going on, you know what I'm saying? So I don't even understand how they could even like bring that up. That was kind of like bogus to me. But anyway, so when they bring that up, the lawyer's like, nope, no further questions. Now we're gonna leave. And I'm like, yo, well, good reasoning, because it was crazy. Like, I don't see how they could do that. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Yeah, that was like, I don't understand what that had to do with anything, but next thing we see, Meech go and visit Pat, brings the money, and he's going to re-up. I'm thinking he's going to re-up because that's how it left off with last episode. Was kind of like he stuck with Pat. But no, Meech tell him, like, listen, no, this is the end of the road. We done. And Pat, like, over my dead body. And Meech is kind of explaining, you know, you taught me everything I know, but it's just like, yo, we kind of exceeding you, but he's trying to say it in like dumber terms. He's like, yo, it's just time to go. And Pat's like, man, I taught y'all everything. I told y'all how to wipe your ass. I told you this. I taught you that. Meech's like, yo, one of the main things you told me was never get high on your own supply. And Pat, the look on Pat's face, boy, woo, he was like, what'd you say to me? He stood up. That old ass, slow ass punch. But you can tell that motherfucker hurt, man. That shit slouched Meech like a motherfucker, man. I'm like, oh. Yo, what's going on here, man? So, Meech held it like a champ, though. He ain't like fall out or nothing. But Pat was just kind of like, yo, listen, all right, you want to be extra, what did he say? Not extradited. That's not the right word. He said something. Tell me in the comments what he said. You know, listen, I'm a non-grad entertainment. I ain't finished school, so I ain't good. All them big words. That's that's for the smart motherfuckers. But so anyway, it's done off with him. And I hate to see Wood Harris play it like a hater type dude, man, because if you remember in Paid in Full, he was the one getting hated on. Will Harris always play like a decent type role, but to see him in this old player hater role, it's kind of like, oh, not my man. I fucks with Will Harris, man. Very highly esteemed actor. Shout out to him. Next scene we see Lamar, who is my favorite character. Him and light skinned sidekick, who I just learned his name is Slick. And I just only know that because the closed caption was on when I watched it. But anyway, Lamar is all in there. He in there like swimwear, man. He got cashed out, nostrils wide open. Or they might just be like that because she pregnant. But he daughter running there. She like, yo, can you pick me up from school? Lamar like, man, you got to talk to your mom. The mom agrees. But she like, listen, you got to be on time because you don't got perfect attendance with being on time. And he being a simp. Yeah, well, I'm trying to be a good father, so I'm working on myself. And I'm like, man, my man, like, yo, my man is a simp when it come to dial. This dude is the most ruthless dude on the streets, and he come home, he just a teddy bear. But anyway, him and Cash Doll wind up getting a little early morning one in real quick. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, yo, why did he have that girl making pancakes at that age? I just couldn't fathom telling my daughter to do nothing like that. I don't know. I guess it's just whatever. Meech and Terry are talking about if he should take the bread because I guess they got an offer for $25,000, and the mom is like right off the bat like, yo, what the hell? Like, nah, hell no. And Meech kind of just wants them out of their business because he's telling them like, listen, we got these pictures. They watching us. They brought this up. So Meech like, yo, just take the money. Be done with it. You're already getting more than that. Terry says later on that they making this a day. They making $20,000 a day. Like, think about it. That's a lot of fucking money. But I guess that's just what they're trying to offer him in total. And I think that's BS too, man. I wouldn't take it. If that was my eye, that's my vision. Something I got to live with the rest. $25,000, that's not a lot of money, dude. You're not even giving me like a year's salary of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe back then that was. But like nowadays, you can't sustain off of $25,000 a year. Like, that's not even enough to, that's nothing. Like 20,000, that's, I'm not going to say how much that is for me, but I don't know. I want to do it. But Meech is trying to tell him to get it or take it. But then they're talking about what they need to do to get their stash back because they got rid of Pat. Now they need more money for this new plug, and they don't have any resources. That lets you know these boys ain't really got it like that yet. They because everything is kind of like they have to keep the ball rolling in order to keep everything flowing. So they're not really at that to where they just got money stashed away or whatnot. So Meech comes up with a harebrained scheme. And Terry like, listen, I don't even want to hear it. And he walks away. And I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on? I'm like, oh, Meech got the idea. Oh, boy. And Meech normally comes through on his ideas. Even though, like I said, his approach and whatnot, Meech is kind of like a little genius, man. Terry will come up. Meech is the great executioner of the idea. Let me say that. Terry does come up with the ideas, but Meech is normally great at executing the ideas. Whether it's getting from point A to B, C, D, E, F, G, he'll have contingency plan, another contingency plan. He's very good at that, man. That's just the showing of a great leader. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Meech. And then we see what the scheme is him picking up Monique's daughter from school when it was supposed to be Lamar. So the camera pans and we think it's Lamar picking her up, and then the pan is Meech. I'm like, and I kind of knew it at the time. I'm like, yo, this got to be something going on. Like, and I'm like, yo, Meech, you a dirty motherfucker, man. This is some slimy type stuff if you think about it. You really, really get down to the bottom of this. This is slimy. You know what I'm saying? Because that's somebody kids you playing with, man. That's dangerous for them too, because they know how Lamar feel about this girl, and this could obviously have consequences. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. We'll see. All right. Hold on. Let me get my notes together. All right. So Meech is driving around with this little girl, promising her ice cream and shit. We see Lamar shows up to the school. He's looking for her. He asks her friend where she is. She not. Then we see Lil Zane, little small ass. Hey, remember me? And Lamar like, what? He like, yeah, we got your daughter. Lamar, yo, the way Lamar snatched this dude up, man, I was like, yo, that's how you supposed to do it. Lamar was in rare form. This really showcased Lamar's acting skills a lot in his, and it wasn't really so much what he was saying. It was just the emotions he was giving. Like you could tell he was like upset, and he really portrayed that in the screen. I told y'all before in other reviews, Lamar's my favorite character. One of my favorite characters. And I like his light-skinned sidekick too. I like their dynamic, funny, but I just love Lamar's ruthlessness and his ability to just kind of steal any scene whenever he's on the screen. So he grabs up Lil Zane. Lil Zane like, man, listen, you do anything to me, you ain't never gonna see her again. Yada, yada, yada. He lets him go. He calls. He gets on the payphone. It's another thing. Get everybody together now. I'm like, yo, this is great acting right here. This is like, that's the stuff y'all got to pay attention to. That emotion that he's invoked. His daughter is not really missing. This is a paid actor. But watching this show, you would think his daughter is really missing. That's great acting right there. We see Meech takes old girl to get some fries. And listen, now I'm going for great acting. Now we about to go to subpar acting. As much as I love Meech's character, when he's in he thrives when he's in his when he's doing his gangster shit, right? But when it comes to shit like this, talking to the girl, I was just like, oh yeah, we're gonna get extra marshmallows. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, you're a super gangster, and he just trying to play this soft role. He's like, yes, we're gonna go on an adventure. I'm like, yo. I love it though, man. I love this show. But right when he says something cheesy, he'll get right back into gangster mode. So that lets you know, like, he focused, and he also on his P's and Q's. So, but it was just some little, yeah, we're gonna get Rocky Roll ice cream with extra marshmallows. Coney's got the best fries. I told you. I'm like, oh God. We at the crib. We see Terry. We see Terry's mom ask him flat out, verbatim, are you hustling? She said, look me in my eyes, and it took everything in my power not to laugh, because you know damn well that man can't look you in the eyes. You should have said, look me in my eye. Let me stop. I'm clowning today, y'all. Let me stop. She was dead wrong for that. I'm the only person that said that. I can't be. Even my girl was just like, she know that nigga can't look him in the eye. Look him in the eye. She only. So this is actually the moment when they talked about the money. And the pops, you see the pops hot right on it. Oh, hold on, that's a lot of doggone money. Yeah, it is a lot of money to you, bum. I thought you didn't live there no more. Matter of fact, get out the house, pops. You shouldn't even be here. That's what I would have told him. Pops, why are you here? But it's crazy because I think they lowballing them, but then they like, yo, take it to trial where they know they got a possibility of losing because, listen, they black in Detroit. Possible drug dealers, you know what I'm saying? A jury or whoever got to decide the fate gonna be like, nope. So they risk winning. They risk losing everything. So it's like Terry and his mom, they want to hold off. Pops and Meech like, yo, we should just take this bread and be done. Meech obviously selfish. He just want to be out the spotlight and not have these people on his back. And the Pops is just a broke ass nigga, so he just want the money anyway. All right, we see B, Mickey, and Kato still getting it in. I wonder if they doing Raw now. They gotta be at the point today he hitting it Raw. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. They getting it in. She's still running her little game on him, and he like, man, what made you want to just talk to me all of a sudden? Because back then you wasn't even looking for me, but now you checking for me. And she's just like, she what analogy she used? She said, listen, if you find $100 and pick it up, is you gonna ask where the $100 came from, or is you just gonna keep it? And he was like, yeah, you right. It was something like that. I don't know verbatim what he said. I'm like, nigga, you's a retard. But hey, listen, man, do your thing, B Mick. Get the draws while you can, because she ain't gonna be alone. She ain't gonna be around anymore, any longer. I'm giving her one more episode. She's out of here, and it sucks because I like Kato's character. At least I did, till I find out she was a snake. And I just think that just be real. If you want to be down with the 12th Street niggas, be down with them. But anyway, Meech calls Kato to come because he told the girl that he had some girl house to take her to, and I'm thinking he gonna take her like play with his sister, take her to play with Kato, because maybe he looks at Kato like a little ass kid. So anyway, he calls her, so she gotta stop what she doing and I guess meet him. Lamar, we see, has rounded up the gang. He's talking about he want to know where everybody lives at, the mama, the daddy, the uncle, the drunk uncle, the pastor, the cat, the dog, the mouse, the snake, the rat, the plumber, the garbage man. Anybody that's associated with the Flannerys, he wants to know where they at. And it's crazy to think that nobody had a drop on them or knows where they at. You know what I'm saying? Because they live so far away from where they do their dirt at. And that's how it's supposed to be. Only thing I don't agree with is that they still live at home. I think they should have their own spots. My old boy Tiny's like, yo, and I like Tiny too. Yo, man, we should focus on the business. You know what I'm saying? Like, just what you told us. And Lamar like, all right, yeah, that's cool. All right, you good. And he walk away, he take off his belt and just start strangling the fucking life out Tiny. I'm like, oh, no, don't tell me Tiny gonna go out like this. And like, nobody stepped in and shit, because light-skinned sidekick was like, yo, y'all better step back. Y'all ain't gonna do nothing. Y'all better step back. I'm like, man, y'all outnumbered. Like, jumped them. But anyway, he lined up letting Tiny live. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Because I like Tiny, man. I don't know something about his character, man. He just seems like he bought his bread. That's all he concerned about, man. But, you know, he not the head of the crew. Anyway, he dispersed everybody. They wind up going off. Sorry, that's my fantasy football league. I'm losing right now. We see that Detective Howard and his partner, and I don't even know if his name is Detective Howard. If I'm not mistaken, it wasn't that the detective in Power. I don't know, Detective somebody is interviewing it. Some weird ass dude who is, I don't know what condition this is considered. Maybe it's like I think it's like a version of what's that called? What am I thinking of? You know what I'm talking about. It's two versions of it. It's a I forget. It'll come to me. Anyway, he remembers height, weight, sizes, shapes, forms, letters, numbers, and he has a distinct image of who took J-Mo, and the nigga who did it is standing right behind him. I'm like, yo, he about to rat on your ass. But they put a picture of him. It got like Meech, it got Lamar, it got a bunch of other niggas, and he like, nope, it's not one of them. And he's like, yo, he was about this height and this and this and this. I'm like, oh shit, this nigga crazy. They wind up letting him out, and as they letting him out the room, he looks at Detective Howard like, and they look back, and I'm like, uh-oh, this ain't good. I'm like, yo, ain't nothing good gonna come out of this dude. Something gonna happen to him. But yo, what is the word I'm thinking of? Not on time. It's right on the tip of my tongue too. I can't remember. We see another conversation between the Flannerys, the mom and the pops, and They have a discussion, and the pops is fully believing that Terry is in a drug game. He's bringing up the car who they said belonged to the uncle, the pictures. The pops know. The mom knows too, but she's willingly being naive about this situation. Like, what the fuck your son's doing. It's not hard to fucking wrap your head around this. Terry ain't that much of a good dude to fucking. Meech didn't get shot before Terry got shot, but they blaming Meech for it, and it's just like, you can't do that with kids, man. Listen, it'd be the kids that came from 2-parent households end up being in the streets anyway. That don't need to be in the streets, but they just fascinated by it because the streets are addicting. So I know a lot of kids like that. And I'm like, yo, we don't need to be in the streets. You came from a good house. Like, why you? I'm out here because I gotta be. My mom working single, triples, doubles, and can't afford the shit for me. She working just to maintain the bills in the house. So I want to get fly. I gotta be out here. Why are you out here? Shit, it's just addictive. Like, it's addictive and shit, they good at it. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers that be having them 2-parent households be good as hell at math and counting and shit. So that shit easy for them. It's a challenge. We see Meech and Terry are meeting up with Kato and giving her the 3rd degree. And, she tries to overstep a little bit. They had to remind her who was, in charge. She like, yo, why you bring her here? Like, because listen, she know Lamar is eventually going to end up calling her. And if he just pop up at the house, this girl going to be here. So she going to risk possibly getting killed or getting involved. But right as she's talking, Lamar winds up calling. And, she goes in a room to try to play it off. And she like, no, I ain't seen him, yada, yada, yada. And talking to him. And then when she comes out the room, she tries to play it off like she was talking to somebody else. And Terry and Meech actually wind up leaving. So I'm like, oh, man, like they got out just in time. Terry obviously is a what. And listen, before I watch this episode, my man Mike Key, if you watching this, you told me this episode I would be proud of Terry because I've been getting Terry shit for the last 3 episodes or 4 episodes prior because he's a bitch ass nigga. And now I'm not gonna say he a bitch ass nigga, but he's just not. He ain't like Meech. Just put it like that. He a bitch ass nigga right now. And I'm not saying the real T, Southwest T. If you watching this, big dog, I'm not saying you're a bitch. I'm talking about at this stage in the show, your character right now, to me, is a bitch ass nigga. So, and not in that sense. You know what? He not a bitch ass. He just got a fucking conscience. You know what I'm saying? So he not a bitch ass nigga. He just has a conscience. You know what I'm saying? And that's dangerous in this type of game. You can't really have a conscience. You kind of, it's part of the game. So maybe that's how I'm wording it wrongly. Not a bitch ass nigga. He just, he's got a conscience. He's kind of like, you know what I mean? Apprehensive to shit that me just kind of just like, well, it is what it is. It need to be done. Same way with B Mickey. Yo, all right, it need to be done. It is what it is. It's part of the game. Terry's kind of like, yo, we ain't got to. He don't understand. Like, he think everything is like black and white. It's not like, it's not black and white. It's not going to go smoothly. It's hiccups. It's all kinds of shit. And this is part of the game. And as the niggas that get money, y'all got to understand, obstacles going to come in your way that's going to force your hand. Because people going to try to play y'all like y'all pussy. Oh, they get money, but they not bout nothing. We could just take they shit from you. And if a nigga think he could keep taking your shit from you, he going to keep taking your shit from you. So you got to be on some rah-rah type shit, even if you're not a rah-rah type nigga. I know a lot of niggas that just get money niggas that had to be tough guys too. And the thing is, they're a conflict of interest. You can't be a tough guy and a nigga that get the money. It's a conflict of interest. That's why you hire niggas around you that's the tough guys. But anyway, yo, we see Lamar sitting here talking, or I don't know what he doing. He's just contemplating. Mo walks up looking for her daughter, and he got to break the news to her, and she freaks out. She wants to call the police. She wants to do this. And he like, yo, Meech took her. And she's like, is this part of your street shit? And I was like, when she said that, I was like, yeah, it's the beginning of the end for Lanique. That's the little nickname I gave on Lamar and Monique. So this is the beginning of the end for Lanique. She's sitting there fucking devastated. Light-skinned sidekick comes hopping in. And, yo, I'm wondering, like, yo, why is he hopping? But then I'm like, yo, he the dude that got shot in the ankle or the leg last joint? Because I don't think they showed his face. I'm like, oh, my man got shot. You know, he got shot. But anyway, he like, yo, I done looked churches, da-da-da for this. I can't find him. Lamar like, listen. He like, yo, listen. Sorry about that. He like, listen, man. I'm like, yo, oh, shit. My man just, I'm sorry about that. So Lamar like, yo, listen. Look for him some more. And he like, yo, me? He like, yo, I'm hoppling, I'm crippling, I'm walking all right. I'm like, yo, dude is funny as hell. Back at the station, we see detectives talking about this J-Mo. This light-skinned Mexican dude is not letting it go, bro. Like, he not letting it go. He's saying J-Mo had an earring, and the earring's missing. So that's calling Howard to kind of just be like, all right, man, I gotta cross my T's and dot my I's. I'm like, oh. We see Lamar show up to the house with Kato, and I thought it was the beginning of the end for her, cause I'm like, oh, the girl is in there. The girl was in there. I'm like, Kato's out of here, and I wasn't gonna feel bad for her because you can't play two sides of the story. You can't do that. You playing both sides. That's a no-no. You can't do that. So I'm like, she out of here. The girl was in there. She was just in there. She is in there. Lamar's gonna see her. He gonna find her. He gonna take the girl back home. He gonna come over and duff Kato out, or he gonna just duff Kato right in front of her and just take the girl home. I'm like, yo, she's out of here. Good. It was nice knowing you. The girl ain't even in there. Meech done got the girl. I don't know. He's slick as hell. These light skinned niggas be slick. He went in there and got the girl, walking around, doing his little fucking dumb. Oh, we're gonna get ice cream. We're gonna get Rocky Road with extra marshmallows. And yeah, he wound up getting the car out of there. It got tense in there too, man. And listen, Lamar, we got to take account of how many things Lamar done broke or smacked down in this episode. It was the payphone. Then he went in Kato's house smacking shit around. I'm like, damn, nigga, you ain't had to smack her antenna off her TV. Now she can't watch Bugs Bunny. It's funny, she came in there, she was watching cartoons on. He like, oh, you ain't watching cartoons? She said, I love Bugs Bunny. I'm like, yo, you about to get killed just for that shit, nigga. She said, I love Bugs Bunny. I was like, okay, though, you are so out of here. But she lived to see another day. She did. But Lamar threatened her, told her, like, listen, if you better find these niggas or whatever. He wound up calling Meech. And yo, Meech. Yo, Meech was like, fucking, what did Meech say? He said, I forget what he said. He said, I take a donation for a doll. I'm like, oh, this dude foul as hell. Lamar telling him right off the bat, I ain't giving you shit, nigga. I ain't giving you nothing. So Meech calls Terry, like, yo, we straight. He like, yeah, like up and down, like 6 o'clock. They wind up kidnapping light-skinned sidekick. They ambushed they ambushed light-skinned sidekick and 2 dudes. I don't know where they was going. They was somewhere out their way. They wind up getting them through light-skinned sidekick in the trunk. I'm like, oh, okay. So this is what my man was talking about, I guess, when he was like, yo, Terry is, about it this episode. But anyway, we see they got him in a warehouse tied up. And yo, this was some of the greatest, fucking funniest shit. The greatest exchange of this episode. He like, man, what y'all Tom and Jerry looking motherfucker? I'm like, yo. Terry asked him something. He was like, yo, eye, all I'm gonna say is your eye is very misleading. I'm like, yo, he had me crying, bro. I was like, this is why this is one of my favorite characters, because, bro, he is solid, man. He don't bend, he don't shake, he don't fold. Why getting punched in his face? Disrespected, he's still solid. He tough. Meech even said it. He like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You and them tough old heads. But yo, he said something about they gonna chop up Terry's kid. And Terry lost it, man. Punched him. But then he was like, yo, my girl hit tougher than that. But they wind up stumping him out, him and B Mick. I'm like, oh, it's over for him. Meech winds up coming in and was like, yo, y'all niggas can't do nothing right. Man, cut him loose. So they did all this shit beating him up, and then Meech just talked to him with sense and wind up getting him to tell up the stash and shit. I'm like, this some bogus shit right here. So Meech is like, yo, I know you scared of Lamar, but you got two options. You know what I'm saying? You could be the hero, bring the girl back, or you tell us where the stash is, or we going he was like, I'm desperate, so I'll do something to her just for the simple fact I'm desperate, and I'm gonna write a note to him saying you had a chance to save her and you did nothing. So he gonna do something to you. Dude was like, yo, I'm messed up. I'm fucked either way. I'm like, tough situation. But anyway, he tells him where the stash is. He winds up letting them bring the girl back. And he's like, yo, man, get this dirty nigga some clothes. Meat's funny as hell, man. But he told me, he was like, yo, you ain't no killer nigga. And Meech was like, man, I'm not. I'm just desperate. So he seen that, and I just think he was just probably like, man, fuck all this shit. Like, I ain't trying to keep getting my ass whooped and shit. But we see next that he brings the girl to Lamar. We also see Monique at the house. She returns to the house. She hears a voicemail from Meech, and Meech funny as hell for this. He was like, yo, I just wanted us to be a family. I'm like, yo, dude is a fucking trolling her right now. And she throw this shit over. I'm like, okay, she doing her Lamar shit. She starting to smash shit, throw shit over. And then she's sitting there soaking and shit. Lamar winds up turning up, back up with the kid. And she slammed the door in that nigga face like, yo, it's a wrap. We see Terry and his wife. Like, I couldn't even feel bad for her. I couldn't even feel bad for Lamar because it's just like, all this shit happened because of you. You know what I'm saying? You went after these niggas' stash and you had to expect something. You just thought these niggas was this soft. And you know what your weak spot is. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I mean, I can't be faulting Monique for being mad. Like, it is what it is. But I don't know. It's just a fucked up situation overall. We see Terry and his baby mom sitting at the table, and she got her hair different now. I didn't even recognize her. She's a cute girl. And she's like discussing like what they should do. He's like, what you think I should do? And she was like, yo, what do you want to do? And she was like, you always talk about Meech or doing something. Why don't you do something for yourself? You know what I'm saying? You doing everything with Meech. Like, do this to have some money on your own. And, you know, he took that into consideration, I think, because that plays in the end as well. We see Pat and the detective. They got a scene together. And listen, y'all got to realize these are the scenes that make this show. Yes, we get the shoot 'em up, bang, bang. But you got to think these are two veteran actors. And these are real brothers in real life. These are brothers. Wood Harris and I don't know the dude's name are brothers, blood brothers in real life. So to see two veteran actors and as brothers in this scene right here, giving some good ass commentary. This is the shit I like. This is the shit I like because they talking that shit to each other, trying to out slick each other, talking crazy, super witty. He's like, yo, you a dinosaur. He's like, I'm the nigga that's about to make your ass extinct. And I can't believe Pat going out like this, man. He really is sour like this. Like, he really is a sore loser, bro. He trying to get Meech jammed up because Meech don't want to fuck with him no more. It's just like, bro, just let the shit go. You know what I'm saying? Like, just let it go. But he ain't going for it. He ain't trying to hear it. And it just make him look weak, man. And it backfired on him. He was trying to get Meech out of the picture and then have the detective on the payroll so he could, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's not going to work like that. You know what I'm saying? So luckily, the detective stood his ground, and he told him, like, listen, you the one going to be getting out of here. And I learned that Pat is originally from New York. I didn't know that before. Maybe they said that in the episode earlier. But he's from New York originally. He moved down here. Well, technically, he from there. If he been down there all them years, he technically from there now. You know what I'm saying? We see Tiny and Meech meeting up with each other. And, yeah, man, it's crazy. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm like, what's going on here? But they're doing business together, and this is smart on Meech's end because it kind of gives him some leverage on Lamar because they doing business. and dude branching off and doing his own thing, and this dude just want to branch up, so he don't have his thumb underneath. He not underneath Lamar. He doing his own shit on the side, and he talking about he trying to hit niggas outside the hood. So he got an entrepreneurial mind, but he playing a dangerous game because he is close to Lamar. But I don't know. I think, hey man, it is what it is. I like Tiny though. I'm trying to see what else we got. Okay, we see Terry. But that was weird seeing that, though. I'm like, what the fuck? Because I didn't know who was getting in the car. And then we see these two. We see Terry in the porch with the neighbor. They getting some drinks. Meech pulls up like, yo, let's go meet the plug. And Terry tell him like, oh, listen, I'm just going because she don't want to deal with you. She want to deal with me. And Meech's like, all right, well, we going to find somebody else. And he like, no, we not. Like, just let me run the point the same way you did with Pat. I can handle it. She's like, yo, she think you too flashy. He like, I'm too flashy. He like, man, look at you. Look at you. And I had to talk with my man Mike Key about this earlier, too. I'm like, yo, why did she say they flashy? Because I'm like, yo, Terry be wearing chains, too. But he was like, yo, you got to look at how Terry dressed, though. Terry dressed a little more like a older type dude. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at him now. He got the Sherlin on, the sweater. And Meech got the sweatsuit. He looks straight dope boyish right off the block. So that's what she said. And, you know, he got the ring on with the to say Meech and shit. So that's what they mean, I guess. But I'm like, the chain, Terry still got chains and shit on. But I don't know. I guess that was common for them older player type niggas back then. So Meech agrees to it. And he stands there. And I'm thinking he about to say, like, something crazy. And he just asks dude, he's like, yo, you think I'm too flashy? And dude, like, man, I've been living here too long to get involved in you and your brother's stuff. I'm like, he's like, here, man, take this drink. We see the detective and his partner go to visit that weird ass numbers dude that was in the police station, and he's up out of here. He packed up, got his shit, or he's not answering the door, and we find out later why. The neighbor actually said it and was like, yo, he packed up and left, had some boxes. So he like, what? So he wound up leaving. To come to find out, detective told Meech to get him to move away or did something, intimidated him, something. We see the detective and Meech meet up at the gas station, and they talked about it, and he kind of gave the money back to Meech and was like, yo, listen, this is done. So I'm like, nigga, you trying to do the right shit after all these years, nigga? Like, it's a little too late, don't you think? But hey, I guess not. You know what I'm saying? But then he drives off, and then we see his Mexican partner is laying low in the cut watching him. And I'm like, this dude is really had nothing better else to do. He really is obsessed with this, with the cop. So this is why this is going to end up blowing back on him somehow. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you try to get out or switch it up, it winds up blowing back on you. So you should have just stayed in the game, detective. You should have just stayed in the game. What else we got here? Oh, we see... it was success with the plug. We see Terry got the keys on his bed. He's counting everything up. We see Meech walk in, and he's like, man, this is what I like to see, man. I had to see it for myself. And he's like, yo, how'd you get in here? Why is Terry living at home and he has a kid? Can we talk about that? We not going to talk about that? All right, we won't talk about it then. That's weird. I know he's still young, but... you got a whole baby and you drive a BMW, or no, you drive a Benz. No, what do you drive? A Benz. Why you, whatever. So they arguing about stuff, and he like, yo, you think this ever get? And this is what my man, Mike Key, this is what I'm talking about right here. This is what I be talking about right here. This scene, the ending scene, when he bitching about what's going on in the game. When I just said, like, listen, this is part of the game. Shit happens. He like, oh, is this ever too much? Does this happen? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, stop being a bitch, dude. Meech's like, yo, that wasn't our fault. B. Mickey and Rock, that was they shit. And he like, yo, you can say that, but was it really Meech? You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yo, we kidnapped the girl today. And he was like, we didn't pull a trigger, but man, 2 people is dead because of us. Man, we didn't pull a trigger, but we might as well. And we see the camera walking up the stairs and panning, and then we see it cut, and then we see Mom Dukes walk in the room and hear him, and she's like, like she about to have a heart attack or something. I'm like, Nigga, you knew what the fuck they was doing. Like, stop. And then you just see them looking. And I'm like, listen, this all could have been avoided if y'all would have just took some money and got your own apartments. Fuck is y'all living at home for? But hey, Mom Dukes know now. Hey, I guess it's not the worst thing. Beach is already kicked out. Terry probably just gonna get kicked out now. But hey, at least the mortgage is paid. I don't know. All in all, great episode, man. Meech really showed his savagery. To me, Meech was the MVP of this episode, man. Just like last week, Lamar was the MVP. He got them boys, but they got their shit back. So Meech, he put this scheme together. He executed it thoroughly. Everybody played their position. Very happy with this show, man. Very, very happy with this show. I can't wait to see the comments, man. I look forward to the comments. I appreciate the views, the likes, the shares, but I look forward to the comments. Last week, the guy that plays Sam in the store commented on the video. He watched the video, said it was a great review I did, and spoke on what I said, why he didn't age in the store. So shout out him, Sam. Forget his real name. Is it Sam? I don't know. But shout out to him. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Go to IamTrill.com if you need some merch. My new video will be dropping tomorrow. Work hard. 12 p.m. Make sure you look for it. It's litty. Till next time. Peace.